Oh wow, what a nice background, right? Amazing. I love it. I hope it's gonna be good on the thumbnail as well. Alright, 皆さんこんにちは、Ali です。Hi guys, my name is Ali. Welcome or welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing my August study recap and we're gonna talk about everything I have studied during the month of August. Let's go! It's a special video today because I have a few announcements to make, especially if you guys haven't seen my last video yet, where I announced that I'm going to be taking linguistics courses from now on, and I will be putting Russian language study on the back burner until at least the end of this year. And because linguistics studies are going to become a big part of my study life from now on, these little recaps starting from the one today will now include a new category about linguistics study. That's it for the big announcements for today, and now let's move on to the monthly goals I had for the month of August. And for that I am going to put my glasses on as usual. So in August I actually had 3 goals, the first one of which was to get a double amount of immersion practice in all my languages. I managed to do that, so this is completed. I just needed to take a short break from active studying at the beginning of the month of August, so for 2 weeks I knew that in any case I wasn't going to be able to put as much effort as usual into the active studying of my languages, so I really wanted to focus on immersion instead. Another reason was that I had a trip actually coming up at the beginning of the month. I actually vlogged that. I went to Tokyo. It took me only a few days, but nonetheless, because I knew that this was coming up, I thought that this was a perfect opportunity for me to just put active studying on the back burner for just a short 2 weeks and then go back to it. So from the 3rd week of August I went back to my active studying. In terms of language immersion that I did, I will cover that in my language by language recaps in a minute. The second goal I had for August was to do a lot of Japanese academic writing, and I also managed to do that, so this is also completed. During the month of August I wrote a total of 8 essays and 2 scripts in Japanese entirely, and I will give you the details of those in my Japanese study recap. The third goal I had for August sadly was not completed because it was to cover 1 full week of my Asimil textbook for my Russian studying, and I did not manage to do that since before I could get to it I was able to enroll in a new linguistics course and then started on it right away, and therefore put my Russian studying on the back burner since the last week of August. Alright, now let's move on to my Japanese study recap. Regarding active studying, I am still going through the 留学生の日本語 book number 1. The number 1 is about reading comprehension of essays in particular. I am almost done with it. I covered a lot of it during the month of August. I am 77% done, exactly. In August I covered 7 chapters of the book and I wrote 6 mini essays for each chapter, except one of them just because I didn't feel like it. The chapters were about sleep science, solar clocks, the types of researchers, global warming, Japan houses, the different meanings of gestures around the world, and the history of tea around the world. All of them very interesting, and I think the mini essay I didn't write was the one about the solar clocks. About my reading immersion in Japanese, so you can see on the screen all of the books I have read during the month of August. In total I read 7 books, and there was one more book, Memo no Maryoku, which I read up to 86% before the month ended. Regarding my writing practice, I mentioned that already, but apart from the 6 mini academic essays I wrote for my textbook, I wrote 2 full video scripts as well in Japanese, just for practice and because I got inspired and I just wanted to write scripts in Japanese. Honestly, I have no particular reason. I also wrote 1 creative essay in full. I actually vlogged that. That will come up up soon on my channel, and one more academic essay which was not related to my 留学生の日本語 book. In terms of listening practice now, in Japanese, in August, to be honest with you guys, I'm mostly focused on videos from the Pivot channel, which I love. I talk to you about this channel pretty much in every single recap. So on the channel, there are literal courses, you know, that are a few videos long. So there was one course on how to make impactful PowerPoints. I took this whole course. There were 4 videos in this course in particular. It was amazing. I learned lots of things. It really sparked my creativity as well, because you can be really creative with your PowerPoints. Anyway, I learned a lot. I love the videos. I also watched lots of videos on how to create good presentations in Japanese in general, and how to present better in general. So that was really interesting. And then I also covered other topics such as logical thinking, digestive health. Yeah, don't ask me why. I was really inspired to watch this one. English learning targeted at Japanese speakers. That was really interesting. I still have a few videos to cover on that particular topic, and that was surprisingly really interesting. And then one video in particular on education, and also a few other vlog type videos from various channels right now on the screen. Hi guys, editing Ali here. I completely forgot to mention that I also watched the entire drama Tokyo Swindlers on Netflix, Jimenshitachi in Japanese, and it was actually amazing, so I really recommend it to you guys if you're interested in the topic. Regarding my Chinese studying now, in August, for my active studying of Chinese, I covered quite a few chapters of my HSK 3 textbook. I am now 30% done with that textbook in particular. I am still enjoying my time a lot going through this textbook, honestly. Most of my efforts are focused on the exercises at the end of each chapter. Those are reading comprehension exercises mostly in the format of the HSK 3 exam, and they don't have pinyin on the characters, which is really challenging but really fun for me now at my level. Overall, I'm learning a lot with this textbook. Now for my reading immersion in Chinese, I'm still covering the stories of my bilingual book 中国語でちょっといい話. I am now 66% done with this book, still going through it actively, so any reading I do is intensive reading in order to understand everything that I read for each story. I notice a clear difference now in my comprehension level compared to when I started this book in particular. So I can already tell that once I'll be done reading it, my level will have greatly improved. I also did a bit of reading immersion on Do Chinese during the month of August, just a little bit, not very much. I simply finished reading the last few chapters of the story, The Monkey's Paw, which were fun to read. If I were to rate those on a 5-star rating, I would give them maybe 2 stars. Regarding my listening practice now, during the month of August in Chinese, I pretty much only watched the vlogs from the wonderful Vicky Soups. I love her vlogs, and I only focused on her channel and all of the vlogs that she released recently or during the month of August. I understand more and more, also because I keep listening to her specifically and her husband and how they speak. So obviously I'm getting used to their way of speaking as well, so that also counts. I can now enjoy watching those vlogs much more easily than before. And now it's time to move on to the last part of this video, which is gonna be the new category in my monthly recaps from now on. The linguistics studies I did. And in August, I joined my first course on the platform Future Learn, which is about Introduction to Intercultural Studies, Language and Culture, offered by the University of Leeds. During the month of August, I covered the entire courses and the entire materials for week 1 of the course online. Week 1 had 3 modules: language, nation and cultural identity, language and thought, and do languages affect the way you think? The last module was my favorite so far. I loved it. I loved all of the modules, but in particular the last module already taught me so much that it actually opened my eyes on a few different topics which were blind spots. So I am really happy to be covering that and to be discovering new things, learning new things. That's the entire purpose of why I am going into linguistics now. And for that reason, because this first course was actually a sort of trial for me, I went through it using the free version of the platform. Once I was done with week 1, I became absolutely convinced that this was exactly what I needed. So I purchased the unlimited subscription with my own money, of course. I'm not sponsored at all, for 1 year on the platform. Week 2 of the course will be about the relationship between language and culture, and I can actually tell you that I already started going through week 2 and it's amazing, but I will tell you all about it in next month's recap. Trees aren't green, the ocean. Alright guys, so actually that will already be it for the month of August and the recap of all the studying I did during the month of August. Thank you for watching. I hope it was, as usual, insightful. If you have any questions, if you want to tell me everything that you've studied during the month of August yourself, please leave everything down below. And as for me, I will see you in my next video on the channel, guys. Bye bye! Matane!